You know, as a safety consultant, I've seen a lot of dumb things. I've seen dumb injuries, but I've also seen managers do really dumb things during OSHA audits. Today, I want to talk about 7 mistakes to avoid if you go through an OSHA inspection. Let's check it out. Hey, real quick, before we jump into the video, if you want to download a free OSHA audit checklist, a checklist for how to prepare your team for an OSHA audit, all you have to do is go to my website, helpwithosha.com, and you can download a free checklist right there on the homepage. It's the best way to get your team prepared. Now, the 7 mistakes safety managers make. Well, these are in no particular order. Obviously, some are going to be worse than others, and you'll probably be able to figure out the ones that are worse. But I'm going to start with a big one. I'm going to start with one right off the bat. You never want to lie to the safety inspector. So if you have an OSHA compliance inspector on site, don't lie. Never lie. Now, I shouldn't have to tell you that, but you also don't want to hide or conceal information. One way that this comes up is if managers get pulled aside and tell different stories when it comes to training consistency or accidents that have happened or complaints that have come up. It's always best, just be a straight shooter. Tell the truth, and that's why it's important to have your team prepared so that they know this is what we did in the past, and they're not just shooting from the hip trying to explain or answer a question without the right information. But we never want to lie to an inspector. That's a big no-no. All right, the next one. This one comes up a lot. Argumentative. Do not be argumentative with the compliance inspector, even if they are nudging you and trying to get you to be argumentative. It doesn't benefit anybody. The best way to look at an OSHA inspection is a way to show off how good you are or to get better at your weak areas. Now, with that being said, we don't want to point out our weak areas during the audit, but we don't want to pretend like we're perfect, because we're not. And there's always ways that we can improve. So don't be argumentative. Don't be confrontational. Don't be a jerk. That's the second thing that gets companies in trouble. If you are a jerk, they're going to look for ways to get you in trouble. It's not what you want to do. All right, the third mistake, not fixing prior OSHA violations. Now, it's really important. If you have a safety inspection, say you had one 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, you want to go back in time, and it might have been before you're working for the company, and you want to find these past audits, these past inspections, and make sure that whatever corrective actions you put in place then are still working. So you want to always have an idea of what they found in previous inspections, because you don't want to get hit with a repeat violation. That's a big no-no. So stay on top of what you corrected in the past and make sure you're managing it so it doesn't pop up again. All right, being unprepared. This is another common mistake. Honestly, this is a mistake I see often with brand new safety managers. They don't really know what to do or where to start, so they're overwhelmed. You gotta have the documentation in place. You gotta have your OSHA log for the current year. You should have 5 years worth of OSHA logs and summaries, the 300A summary and the 300 log. And you wanna make sure you got copies of written programs. So if they ask to see your safety data sheets, you've got it. If they ask to see your hazard communication program, you got it. You want to know where this stuff is so that you're prepared in the event of having to prove that you have it. Same goes for training documentation. All right, moving right along. This is a mistake. Too busy for them. Listen, we're all busy. You never want to show a compliance officer that you're too busy to go through the audit. Even if you're too busy to go through the audit, take your time, go through it thoroughly with them. You can be, professional and still show that you have other things that need to happen that day, but you don't want to show that you're too busy for them, because then they're going to think you just don't care. And if they think you don't care about the audit or you don't respect them as an authority, that's a big no-no. You don't want to show that. So we want to make sure we're being respectful, we're being professional, and we've got time to go through the audit with them. All right. save one of my favorites for last. Do not allow a loudmouth into the audit process. Now, we all have them, we all work with them, we all know who they are. If you have a loudmouth manager or a loudmouth employee or somebody in QA that just can't keep their mouth shut, you don't want that person involved in the audit. You want to have very clear roles and responsibilities when going through an OSHA audit, and you want to make sure you have a team already formed. So you've got somebody in maintenance, you've got somebody in leadership, you got the safety manager, you might have a production manager involved. You want to have a team of people. What you don't want to have happen is to go in and you can't find the shipping manager to help you with the forklift. So you have, oh, hey, there's Johnny. Johnny can help us. Hey, Johnny, when's the last time you did your forklift inspection? Oh my goodness, I don't know. That forklift broke down, and then we had the problem. We had that accident that happened, and before you know it, you have opened 15 cans of worms, and everything is a mess. Don't let a loudmouth into the process. We want to make sure that we're giving the OSHA inspector the right information, and we want to give them concise information, right? We don't want the long, drawn-out story of what happened 3 years ago. Trust me, he doesn't want that either. He's there to do his job, and it's easy to get derailed. And the truth is, he has to follow up on things that he deems a safety hazard to your employees. So do yourself a favor, avoid these mistakes, and you'll make for a much better prepared team and a better audit. Until we talk again, do everything you can to keep the people you work with safe, because no one should get hurt at work.